I wonder if Timothy Boatwright is suffering from buyer's remorse right now. You see, despite the first name, Tim is actually a woman. A while ago, Timothy transitioned from a she to a he. No big deal in this day and age of Brucella Jenner and 31 genders. Goodness knows anything goes, but just wait until you hear about Timothy's tale of transition trauma, which was recently chronicled in a New York Times article. It's a true story, although it kind of sounds as though it could have been lifted from the pages of Aesop's fables. For starters, even though Timothy is now a dude, he wanted to go to Wellesley College, which is an all-female institution near Boston. Amazingly, the she-male was accepted there because for the progressives running Wellesley College, there can be no worse fate than being labeled transphobic. Indeed, there's actually about 24 guys on Wellesley's campus who used to be gals. Well, all was merry at Wellesley until, that is, Timothy decided to run for the position of Multicultural Affairs Coordinator on the Student Government Cabinet. If elected, Timothy would be responsible for promoting, quote, a culture of diversity. Timothy was originally up against 3 women of color, all of whom dropped out of the race for unrelated reasons. That meant Timothy was alone on the ballot, and it appeared as though he'd snagged the position via acclamation. Oh, but not so fast. A lobbying effort began on Facebook pushing students to vote abstain. Now, enough abstain votes would deny Timothy the minimum number of votes required, forcing a new election for the position of Multicultural Affairs Manager. Now, gracious, what did poor Timothy do to provoke such a backlash? Well, since Timothy Boatwright is now a white male, the argument against him being elected was simple. There's no way a Caucasian man full of white privilege could possibly hold the diversity seat at a multi-ethnic women's college. Yes, by transitioning into a white man, Timothy essentially screwed herself out of any diversity positions and no longer qualified for affirmative action. Oh, it gets better. For his part, Timothy made the argument that he is indeed a minority. Oh, sure, he looks like a white male, sort of, but he identifies as a, quote, masculine of center gender queer. Just call him Bud Light if you must. And because masculine of center queers are so-called cultural minorities, Timothy argued that he's really more of a minority than any other minority on campus if one goes by the numbers alone. But alas, it was not to be. So it is that if Timothy wants to snag the position of Multicultural Affairs Coordinator in the next election, it looks like Mr. Boatwright essentially has 2 options. Timothy can revert back to being a woman again, or perhaps he can go the tan mom route and darken his skin to such a degree that he no longer resembles a Caucasian. Because as it stands now, at the oh-so-progressive Wellesley College, Timothy the trans man has 2 fatal flaws given that he's both male and white. And at Wellesley College, diversity is great, except when it isn't. In the meantime, folks, have you ever wondered what it would look like to see a bunch of progressives and social justice warriors playing Twister? I think we now know. For the Rebel.media, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Like what you just saw? Then click below and never again miss another Rebel update.